Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. Well, this is the grand entrance to the book of Psalms, the biggest book in the Bible, and one that is a blessing, an inspiration, source of comfort for millions of believers every year for over 2,500 years. This is the first verse. This is the way you enter the book of Psalms. Now, there's not a clear understanding of when exactly and how the Psalms were organized and put into place. Some of them are written as old, or they're as old as Moses. So there's not too much information on exactly how they came together as we have them today. So probably not inspired in their order, but definitely providential. What an interesting verse to start it off with. Blessed or happy or satisfied, content, joyful is the person. And the psalmist goes on to tell us how we are not to decide to live, how not to figure out life. And of course, we can see the very easy progression that's in the verbs: to walk, and then to stop and stand, and then finally to sit. And then you have those three kinds of people. You have the ungodly, you have the sinners, you have the scornful, and it's all couched in the negative. Don't pay attention to these sources of values. Do not guide your life this way, or as these people would have you to do it. This very Sunday, I asked our congregation, where do people learn their values? And of course, beyond childhood, obviously children should learn from their parents, but this is written to adults, let's say teenagers at least. So where do people, and so the typical came up: the internet, YouTube, the social media, Instagram and TikTok and all. This is where young people and adults decide how they're going to live, what they're going to do with their money, their resources, their time. You go to the malls, and you have all kinds of advice, counsel, suggestions as to how you should use your time. Whether it's stopping to eat here, or watch a movie over there, or buy this. It's all over the place. We're bombarded with suggestions and advice. And so the psalmist starts off this psalm, and we have our whole entire book of Psalms starting off with this negative, couched in the negative, because we need it, because we would do this otherwise. Here where we live, the young people, their values are entirely decided on by their peers, their group, a very tight-knit group of, it can be 3, 4, up to 8 or 10 of their age. That's where they decide how they're going to live. And so this first verse, before going on into the positive advice, the positive instructions, it says, do not pay attention to these sources of value or of your values. First of all, you have the ungodly. What is the ungodly? He's the person who isn't necessarily wicked. He just doesn't care about God, doesn't care about spiritual things. He lives his life as he feels like it from day to day, doing what he wants to do, and ignoring or avoiding any thought about God. And he would have you do the same if he is your friend, your co-worker, or something like that. He would say, hey, this is the way to live. But then the next one is the sinners. These are people who sin. They know they're doing wrong, but they don't care. They know this is This is not the way God says we should live or what even our moral compass tells us to do, but hey, I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to do these things and go these places and say these words because I feel like it. I want to. And they are openly sinners, as in it's their way of life and they don't make any excuses for it. And then you come to the scornful. The scornful actually makes fun of those who do not see life as he does. And he will encourage you to do the same. These are not the sources of values that we are told to have. And we go into the book of Psalms with this triple stop sign. Hey, do not pay attention to these kinds of people and these sources of instruction. The next verse is have the positive side. And perhaps it's not what we would expect. God bless you. Goodbye.